5 common dog training mistakes to avoid. The first thing we're going to talk about is inconsistency in your training. We've all heard the phrase, consistency is king. So what that means is whatever you decide to work on with your dog, whether it's obedience, whether it's stopping a behavior, that maybe undesirable behavior like jumping on your guests, or maybe it's stopping your dog from chewing on your furniture, or from taking toys and putting them in certain places in the house, or whatever it is, you've got to be consistent with your training protocols. And when I say training, I don't just mean obedience training, I mean any training in general that you're doing, because that's what you're doing for any of these behaviors. You have to be consistent with your training protocols until your dog forms a habit from the new behavior that you're trying to build with them. So as soon as you decide, hey, I need to change my dog's behaviors from doing this to doing that, now I have to be consistent with my protocols until I'm able to achieve the desired behavior. Mistake number 2 is going to be a lack of clear communication. So what happens is whenever people are trying to communicate with their dogs, whatever they're trying to communicate, they'll use a bunch of different words. The underlying theme here is, we as humans, we are verbal beings. Your dog is a nonverbal being. So we can say a bunch of words in English or whatever language we speak, and the dog has no idea what we're talking about. So what we have to do is associate meaning to words for dogs. We do that through classical conditioning, but we also need to keep our verbal communication as clear and as simple as possible. For us, what we do, we condition the dog that when we say the word good, that means you're doing the right thing, something that we like, something that the dog should continue to do. We use the word no for something that the dog should not be doing, or something that's breaking a boundary with the dog, or something that a dog should not continue to do. So we use those 2 words, right? We condition the dog to understand those. We use those words, we apply it to everything we're teaching, and it's very clear to the dog. The other thing, we're talking about clear language, clear communication, is you want to avoid a lot of unnecessary movements, because a dog is a nonverbal being. They're going to read your body language, read your signaling that you're giving them. And if you give a bunch of different signals with your body all the time, that can be a little bit distracting for dogs. So keep it simple with your body communication as well. The third mistake a lot of people make is actually ignoring their dog's needs. Don't forget, your dog has 2 basic instinctual needs. The first one is going to be physical exercise, which we prefer walking for this. Your second one is going to be mental exercise, which you can do obedience training and other training methods and techniques to challenge your dog's mind. This, of course, goes hand in hand with your dog's basic need for food and water and shelter. But other than that, physical, mental exercise are something that a lot of people forget about, which is a big mistake in working on your dog's training. The 4th mistake is going to be using harsh training methods for your dog. Now, we do need to use accountability at a certain point in our training. That could typically be a leash correction or remote collar usage when properly taught and trained to the dog. But unfortunately, there's a lot of trainers or training methods that don't take the proper progression of training into account, and they start providing the dog with corrections, whether that be a leash or remote collar, improper usage of training tools. And these harsh methods can inadvertently create associations with our dog that are not beneficial for you, your dog's relationship, or your end goals with your training. So you've got to keep in mind a proper training progression and make sure you're properly communicating and teaching your dog. We prefer using food rewards a lot at the beginning of our training during our foundational work, and then we'll slowly get rid of those food rewards as the dog's training develops over time, and we'll implement accountability with the leash and teach a remote collar as the dog progresses. And once all these things are taught, we would be rewarding on a random reward schedule, and we would be issuing accountability for disobedience that the dog's doing. This is a very balanced and fair way to teach your dog how to get to where you want it to be. Your final mistake, mistake number 5, is seeking professional help when you need it. Some people can easily train and teach their dog what they want at home, maybe through some YouTube videos, podcasts, or other types of information. But there are some people that do need professional advice and professional help. Maybe you're dealing with some strong associations from your dog, maybe because there are some improper training methods used in the past. Maybe your dog has a lot of reinforcement history of the wrong things that need to be addressed by a professional. Maybe your dog's highly reactive or insecure or anxious, and you need that professional level help. Whatever your case is, Don't be afraid to reach out for help if you need it, and seek a professional that can provide good guidance to you, whether that's doing like a board and train program with a professional, or having someone that can effectively and efficiently coach you to reach your end goal with your dog. Let me know in the comments below what you guys think and other mistakes we forgot to talk about.